Started.
Alrighty.
All right, so we leave off with Teremor being stabbed through the chest by Sir Remshel, and when he does, it's the classic necromancer death, right? You see like green skulls flying this way and that way, and the souls of the forlorn, and so on and so forth, flying about. And then that all calms down, but not before. As you're watching this happen, and Dane, you kind of immediately stepped in and grabbed the staff and the book, and you just wanted to get those things in your possession, off of him, and as quickly as possible. So what you notice about this staff is that the head of it is glowing that bright green, and when he kind of finishes dying, I guess, you notice the green light fade from the staff and join up and coalesce into this green-looking spirit, and it moves you almost can't track it. It moves so fast, and it slams into Ishtar, and it slams him up against the wall, knocking him unconscious. And then the green spirit kind of seeps into a wall and disappears.
Does it essentially slam Ishtar against the wall and then go through him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tell if you look at, he's still alive, but he is unconscious, and he'll need to be, basically carried. You'll have to figure out how to get him out of here.
Okay.
Well, I'm pretty sure that thing just went inside him. Looks like we're gonna have to kill Ishtar.
No, wait. It went through the wall. Through the wall.
I'm suspicious.
Better to be safe than sorry.
Okay, let's put it this way. When the spirit comes out of the staff, does my quarterstaff turn blue, glow blue, and then after it hits Ishtar, does the blue glow disappear?
Yes, you watch it as it slams Ishtar up against the wall. Your staff is going crazy. And then the spirit then goes in through the wall and seeps through the bricks and the stonework of the wall and out of sight. And you're left in the darkness. In the roll, you've got your glowing club.
Yeah. Well, all that does is just glow light. It's not
yes.
Spirit sensitive.
Yes.
But no, I'm pretty certain he's gone, or it's gone. The spirit that you're thinking has took over Ishtar, it's not here.
All right, fine.
He sheaths the sword.
Exactly.
So yeah, you're left alone in the room.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, if we've got a moment, then I'll go ahead and use my identify exploit to identify the staff and identify the book. Pretty much get more information about them.
The staff you recognize as an implement. The end of it specifically is the business end. The rest of it is more or less just a nicely handcrafted stick. The business end, however, has what you would know as a soul jar or a magic jar, and it's for containing souls.
Okay.
And while Teremor was holding it, it was glowing very brightly green. And now that he does not have it, it has dissipated and gone elsewhere.
Okay. So essentially the jar itself looks like an empty jar for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, and I said magic jar because that's a familiar D&D item that I'm kind of using, but the implement itself is actually closer to a crystal ball.
Okay. But it's clear, not green at this point.
Correct. Oh, okay. And the book, it's not necessarily magical in nature. So
Okay.
identifying it won't do anything at this point. You'd have to open it up and look at what's inside of it to figure out what it is.
Okay. I can do that when we're on the ship.
Well, Korak is just been like taken down to half his health in one fell swoop, so he is going to grab the corpse, bring it up, and take a bite of it and drink some blood.
As soon as you bite into it, it just, there's nothing there. It's just crispy, and it falls apart into dust.
Okay.
As though the body itself, the only reason it was moving was because it was animated.
Okay. Well, that sucks. Okay.
Kentucky Fried Necromancer.
Right. Well, guys, what else? Is there anything else in this room?
Yeah, Tarask is kind of going to be walking around as these two do their suspicious stuff and creepy stuff, looking around kind of roguishly, trying to find something of value.
Yeah, and I'll assume at this point that you've set Ishtar in a nice position, and he's just kind of on the floor, just hanging out there, but he's good.
No, knowing Trask, you probably put me in a compromising position.
Well, I mean, I put my sword away. I don't know what anybody else did, but I didn't kill him.
Right.
Yeah, I would have taken care of him, made sure his loot was okay as well.
Yes, as you look around the room, there's a canopy bed there. It's fairly nice. Seems almost royal, very kind of out of place, although it's not like clean bed sheets or anything. It's kind of dingy and dirty, but the bed itself was at one time a fairly nice bed. Next to the bed is a small nightstand, and it stands probably up to about your hips.
Okay.
I'll let you check the nightstand, Trask. Let you have that fun.
Yeah, Tarask will pass the bed and kind of smirk and be like, "Oh, this one was grand," and walk over to the nightstand.
It's a nightstand. Do you press E and interact with the nightstand?
I do press E.
Okay. Rocks fall and you die. No, there's no traps or anything.
You're eating my brew.
Yeah. Yeah, you open it up. It's a little drawer at first that you pull open. So it's a little drawer and then just legs. So you open up the drawer, and inside you find a fairly nice gem. I'll get back to you. A few of them. I'll get back to you as to what kind of gem that is and what it's worth. Well, actually, that would be what Tarask is mainly interested in. So let me find that really quick. The other thing you find in there is a small journal.
Yeah, so I would scoop up the gems in one hand and grab the journal with the other. Kind of slam the drawer shut with my knee. And I would close my hand around the gems if I can. I don't know how many there are. Geez, I hope I can't close my hand. But I try to. And I walk back up to the party, and I'm going to take the book and kind of underhand toss it over to Dane. And then walk over to Korak and kind of hold the gems out with both hands and say, the pit stop was worth it after all.
And when you open
Nice.
your hand, you reveal 2 tourmalines, and 1 big obsidian gem that could probably be split up into 3 or 4 smaller gems closer to the size of that little tourmaline. And you won't know what they're worth until you try to hawk them off to somebody. But if you're looking for a reference as to what they might mean, then you can look at page 197 in the Elements of Magic. They have some alchemical significance.
Cool. I'll check that out.
Yeah, for casting spells. And if at any point you want to see if your character knows that, you can roll just a logic. Probably just a logic. I doubt any of you would have, unless you have alchemy, any knowledge of what gems could be used for.
I'm certain I wouldn't know.
Yeah, the only thing I have is divination and evocation. Those probably wouldn't do us any good here.
Those are pretty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think they'll fetch us a few. I kind of cleaned myself out with that shopping spree, but it was well funded. And he takes the gems and just kind of pulls like a leather, like a loose leather sack that's basically just like a leather hide. He puts the gems in it, folds the edges up, pulls the drawstring, ties it, and says, "I'll hawk these when we get somewhere where there's a few people." Kind of looking around the cave, obviously.
Yeah. Sounds good.
And that's pretty much it for this room. You've cleaned it out. Nothing else.
All right. I say we head on back to the airship and continue our journey.
Okay.
Correct. You need a hand with your friend, or will you be able to handle it?
I should be able to handle it.
Oh, let me
7 strength. Should I be able to carry him out?
Let me get really quick. He sent me his sheet, so let me check how heavy he is, and then I'm sure you have listed your carry increment, right?
Yes.
All right. Let me just pull up his thing real quick.
I was looking. I just realized that I don't think I have anything indicating what my weight is of my character.
Yeah, I was looking at that as well, and I do not. I'm
Okay,
heavy,
really?
though.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at his equipment and add about 180 pounds to whatever's there. So he's an average human male, so his leather armor weighs 20 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
That's the most significant thing, and his rope. So we'll just say that's 30. We'll call it 40 pounds plus 180.
Well, just to help this, for instance, Tarask will grab the rope.
All right, so that brings it down to 210, and it's a 50-foot hemp rope that you have that is Ishtar's. So the weight of Ishtar carrying him is 210 pounds.
Okay, I mean, my carry is 200 pounds for the first increment, so I will be...
I can take.
Yeah, just slightly
I can
slowed.
take the. I'm gonna say I've got plenty of increments left. I can. The loot probably isn't going to do much, but I'll go ahead and I'll remove the leather armor from him and carry it. That'll put you down it'll put you at the top end of your increment, but you'll be able to carry him without being slowed.
Actually, that would put it just under. It'd put it at 190.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, I still have gear as stuff as well, so I'm still gonna be in my next increment.
Okay, then we might as well just keep the armor on if you're already going to be in your next increment, no matter what I do.
And it's not going to slow me much. My speed is 8.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yeah, this is cool. Trask will just look over and be like, "All right, big guy, you got it."
All right, so he keeps all of his equipment. It's 220 pounds. You're just slowed by one speed increment.
If I have to jump or anything, that might be a different story. But
yeah, that'll be quite a different story. Hopefully.
Well, he's not tied to you. You could throw him.
Or just drop him.
All right, so you've got Ishtar loaded up. You guys are still in Teremor's room.
We'll head back the way we came.
Okay, so if you remember, you make your way out the door of Teremor's room. You immediately turn left, go down about 10 feet, turn right, go forward about 20 feet, take another right, make your way to the end of the hallway past the prison cells that you walked by. And then you make your way over to down the hallway, back to that room, and before you even get there, that stench returns. That pile of flesh and bone that was just sitting there. What was it? I need... Because as soon as you enter this room...
We would know that this room was coming up. Can I, like, take some, I don't know, loose clothes and try to, like, cover, you know, like a bandit?
Yeah.
Yep, that'll lower the DC.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
Same here.
Yeah, so you guys are prepared for this. It'll lower it to 13. So it's just going to be an endurance or willpower check.
Okay, and I don't have anything I can use to cover
16.
for that, so
Correct's fine.
I'm going to have to use a luck die just to give myself a little bit of cushion.
What was the DC?
13.
Can I? And I can't.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Okay.
18.
Yeah, I got a 12.
It's a good thing I did take luck die, though.
So, Tarask is the only one that you guys... But since you've covered your face, you're not going to get both bullet points of sick. You're just going to get the first one. But what that is, I have to look that back up again. It'll only take me a sec here, though. So, yes, as you make your way into this room, again, everything's very dark. And the club that you're carrying only illuminates out so far. It's not all that bright in this very dark dungeon. Sick. Okay, so you cannot jump and you can only take one action per round. Tarask. And your checks are going to be 1 minute checks. So you guys are making your way into this room. Everybody make perception checks as they walk into this room.
Perception was...
Intuition.
Intuition. Okay. Perception check.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
Oh, that was crap.
Wait, I rolled 5 dice for perception, and I rolled 8.
Holy crap! That's
I
amazing.
rolled 4 and got an 8. I rolled 4 and got an 8.
I have a 12 again.
Okay. So Tarask. Oh, wow, guys, that's really bad. Tarask, you fight through this sickness, and you're just trying to cover your mouth and get through this room back the way you came. And as you're kind of readjusting yourself and everything, your eye catches the faintest glimpse of glowing green light back further in the room. And then as you listen, you can hear something that sounds like very faint breathing.
Okay. My quarterstaff can sense spirits up to 100 feet away.
100 feet? Let me see. So, the way I'm thinking of this, because your staff could sense the spirit when it's out and about, right? But you can't sense spirits inside of people, and presumably people have spirits inside of them. So the reason your staff wasn't going all haywire when you went into the dungeon and confronted Teremor to begin with is because his spirit was contained. And it appears to not be glowing right now either.
Okay.
So Tarask is just going to kind of do one of those, like, legs bend, arms out, and just kind of look around and be like, oh, God's damn, this isn't going to be easy. It's never easy.
What is it, Trask?
What are you talking about, Lewis?
Something's out there. I can hear it. It's like it's right in my head. It's breathing.
Which way?
And he's going to point back towards that far corner where you had mentioned.
As you all get quiet and try to listen, you can hear an ever faint lum dum, lum dum. Hold on, I'm trying to pull up one of my pictures here. Oh,
Uh-oh.
we lost Rory.
Maybe back in a minute.
Yes. Okay, got my picture. There he is.
Welcome back.
Sorry about that. Discord went crazy.
Crazy Discord. All right, well, now that you don't have Ishtar, I might have to reconsider just how difficult this encounter is going to be, but that's okay because that's easy enough to to change. As you hear this breathing and this lub-dub of some type of heart beating, the green glow that you saw before gets brighter and illuminates inside, and bright enough to where you can see what it is possessing. And it is in the art channel as of right now.
Oh, lovely.
And it says, and when it speaks, it sounds like it has two voices, one deep, very demonic sounding voice, and another closer to the voice you heard coming from Teremor himself. And he says, "You think I haven't been killed before? You didn't think it would be that easy." And then he begins to lunge towards you, and we roll initiative.
Oh, hell yes. 26.
$26. That's mad high.
And it's just intuition, right?
Yep.
15.
23.
Thank you, bonus 2d6 for tactics.
All right, you're going to have to remind me of your numbers again. Korak, what was it?
23.
23. Tarask?
15.
15. And Dane was 26.
Yep.
Ishtar is 0. Poor Ishtar. All right, let me roll for Teremor Bone Golem. He doesn't have a very high initiative, although he still
Good.
manages to tie Tarask. Tarask, what is your agility stat?
13.
Okay, yeah, you will be acting long before he does. Teremor Golem. All right, first up is Dane.
All right. So, how far away is he from me?
He is, let me pull my map back up again. You are right there. He is 5, 10, 15, about 20 feet away behind
so I will
this large bone pile in the center of the room.
Okay, so I will have to take a move action to get to him. Okay. And I will. And get ready to light him up. I'm able to use my feint even though I'm taking the move action, correct?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so it'll be 66, not 76. All right.
Yes, as you approach him with your fist lit up, you notice he is ready for you. His four arms are circling about. And yeah, he's very interesting looking because he looks like he's been put together with a hodgepodge of these bones and flesh. There's blood dripping off of him. There's various bone bits and stuff that grind together and break apart as he moves.
I guess this is going to be my number today. 26.
Very good. That's a hit.
All right. And let's see.
What kind of damage are you dealing?
It's going to be blunt and heat.
Okay, so for the blunt, add a d6 to the damage.
Okay. All right. So let's see. It's for some reason when I did when I made some modifications to my character sheet, it totally did away with my unarmed strike. So 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. It was 46 plus because 46 plus 2. 5d6 now because of the bonus.
Yep.
So. No, that wasn't as good. 14 points of damage.
Okay. All right. Yes, you crash your fist into him, and you catch him on these bones are much thicker and denser, and so you're able to catch him. He's about 8 feet tall. And so when you run up to him, you're able to probably connect in the armpit of one of his lower arms, and you crash your fist into him, and a couple of bones and stuff go flying off the other direction. Next up is that's the wrong one. Next up is Korak.
Okay, so Korak, fortunately, is carrying Ishtar. So is dropping him to the ground
that would be just a free action.
Free action?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then I will move
to flank, right?
Yeah, I'll try to move into flank.
Okay, you move around the other side of the bone pile. I kind of saw Dane going to the right of the bone pile over towards him, and you'll head over to the left.
Okay. And then I will attack with my spinning spear. And 4 5s, but no 6s. 25, 27 to hit.
Yep.
It seemed like it's relatively easy to hit.
For you, possibly. However, you notice that him having 4 arms, he's more mobile than he was before. He's moving quite fast for such a large creature, and so it wasn't entirely that easy to hit.
Okay. Only 16 damage.
Okay. Yep, you crash your spear into his other side, and again, some more bones go flying over on Dane. Dane, you get some bone dust on you.
Okay.
Oh, I would have actually been I rolled. I didn't roll for the flank. Would that have been 2d6 for flanking?
I was trying to find that, but if it's just to the attack.
Right.
Right. So you hit
yeah, I didn't roll it.
I think he was thinking if it's 2d6, if he rolls 2 6s, he's going to crit.
Yeah.
Or I could have just used them for extra damage, but
it is just +1.
That's 1. Okay. So,
yeah.
Okay.
But okay. Next up would be Rory. Tarask.
So just quick question.
Mhm.
The sickness, it's one action per turn or one attack action per turn?
Let me pull that back up. I think
It's one action.
Okay.
Yeah,
only
you
take
lose
one action per round. Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'm going to use Rapid Shot, and
Okay.
as this guy becomes visible, I'm going to pull out 2 arrows at one time, and I'm going to just shoot them off one right after the other. I've pre-rolled. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. So yeah, good. Before you do any of that though, roll a d6 to shake off the sickness. You'll get an attempt every turn.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
Oh well, you'll get an attempt right now. If you fail this attempt, unless we get 10 rounds into combat, and I'm, then that's when you would get another chance.
Okay, I had got a 5.
Perfect. So you're able to shake that off when you see him. You're able to, oh my gosh, and pull yourself together. So you will get 2 actions this round.
Awesome. Well, the first 2 shots that are going to go off are with my regular rapid fire exploit, and that will be a 24 and a 21.
And they both hit.
Awesome. And that's going to be... okay, so it's a 18 and a 16.
For damage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, okay, so you notice when the arrows go in that, and Korak, you would have noticed this too, that the slashing and piercing stuff is far less effective against this guy. So take that as you may.
Yeah. I also forgot my exploit of glory. Now that I'm at half health, I get an extra d6 to hit.
Well,
Nice.
This guy better get a turn before you wreck him. Good lord.
Well, he does get a turn now.
Well, Rory's got another action though.
Yeah, my longbow with high quality is a 3d6 plus 4 damage, so
you rolled really well on then.
I'm using your dice roller.
Hey, good.
I rolled 6, 5, 3, 5, 5, 2. So yeah, those were pretty good rolls. Okay, yeah. So actually, sorry, I wasn't prepared for the second turn because I didn't think I'd get it. I'm going to use it to. Can I kind of like move and hide? I'm not really trying to get closer. I'm just trying to like, zigzag as I run, kind of thing, so not to be an obvious target, and kind of use my chameleon cloak to try to make myself a little scarce.
Yes. So I'm not going to make you roll anything yet, but what that's going to do is, in this particular instance, for what's going to happen next, what is your ranged defense?
21.
21. Okay. So until... how long does that chameleon cloak last? A minute?
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't use chameleon cloak. It takes 2 actions. My bad. I didn't read that. Sorry, but actually the duration is 5 minutes, but I can't use it anyway. So I'm just gonna. Can I just then move and try to stealth as like just without the chameleon cloak bonus?
Yes, and what that'll do for you is it's going to raise... I'll give you +2 to your ranged defense for what's coming up next, because you're attempting to just kind of stay out of the way here. So you jack him with 2 arrows, and they go deep. Like, they pierce some bones that, and they come sticking out the other side of him. And you'll hear him howl this kind of evil 2-voiced howl, and you'd see these 3 bolts of acid, like 3 kind of, wispy-looking acidic bolts come out from him, and he needs to make a ranged magic attack against the three of you. So
21 for me.
He got a 33.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a 7d6 roll for him, and that's his attack roll against all of you.
Jeez.
Well, that's a hit.
Yeah. We're hit.
So, for the time being, for 1 minute, you are all considered vulnerable to acid damage, which just means that any time you take an acid damage, you're going to take an extra d6 from it, which would be right now.
Does our soak still apply?
It does, but if you are not careful, acid, depending on what you scrape it off with, will ruin whatever you're scraping it off with. So yes, these acid bolts come landing on you, and they deal 18 points of damage, of acidic damage. Your soak applies. And at the beginning of each of your turns for the next 4 rounds, you're going to be dealt 2 sustaining acid damage.
But our soak doesn't apply on those. Or does it?
What kind of armor are you wearing?
I'm studded leather.
Same here.
Regular leather.
Where is... Because what is likely going to happen is that acid is going to start burning your equipment. If you can't figure out a way to get it off. I don't want to burn your equipment. It is only going to be just your armor, though. Leather.
Well, I mean, acid does corrode stuff, so.
Yeah, basically, I'll let your soak apply for half of the damage. So you yourself will only, because it's kind of all over you. So you yourself will take 1 point of damage, soak not applied, for the next 4 rounds. So 4 damage if you don't manage to get the acid off. The rest of the damage will go to your armor. And leather has a soak of 4. So
Normally, yes.
That will be... Basically, you'll have a big acidic hole in your armor.
I have high quality leather.
Oh, okay.
So I actually have a soak of 6.
And I have exceptional.
Same here.
Well, that is fantastic. So basically, the soak value on those armors is going to be reduced after all of this by 4 until you're able to get the armor repaired.
Okay.
Okay.
Unless we get it
Get
off.
the stuff off.
Yep, that's right. Yes, it's burning through your armor at the moment, and if you don't stop it, it will, each turn it's going to burn through 1 soak and lower your soak by that amount, by 1. For 4 turns.
It spent a lot of money on this armor.
I hear you.
Yeah, I didn't think of that until now.
What about
I apologize.
What about my cap? Is that getting damaged too?
No, I'd say just your primary armor. You know, it's kind of came and hit you, and acid kind of.
Okay.
Yep, and it's chewing away at your armors. That took his 2 actions. So.
All right.
We're back at the top with Dane.
All right. I'm going to take my 2 attacks. First one's a 76. You'd think I would get 3 6s that way.
Wasn't it 66 last time?
Yeah, but because of feint. Well, actually 7.
Well, feint uses an action.
Oh, feint uses, so I can only take 1 attack then.
Correct.
If you use feint.
Okay.
Yep.
And then I'm flanking, so I get another D6 on top of that. Yeah, go figure. Okay. 27 to hit.
What'd you roll on that last D6, just out of curiosity?
A 1
A 1?
on the flank.
Yeah, you definitely hit.
Okay. And then it's going to be 5d6 plus 2 damage with the blunt. 6, 12, 14, 16, 21 points of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Okay. I should have given him higher soak. Okay.
Not when you're trying to acid our armor off.
Well, I hadn't thought of that until just now, and I realized, wait a minute, if the acid is corrosive and burns through the scraping implement that you scrape it off with, then it's probably going to be eating through, like, leather and cloth as well, so. Gotta be consistent. I mean, I don't have to be, but we're not playing My Little Pony.
Well, I had my character ready.
I saw that. That was awesome.
Okay, so I'm flanking. I'm way below half my hit points. Now, in order to do the one thing where I roll an endurance roll to get hit points back, that's a full round action, right?
Like a rest, like a regular rest.
Well, once per day, I think you can sort of. I don't want to say second wind because that's the fourth edition.
The regular rest is an hour. So the once a day rolling an endurance pool is a 1 hour rest. Yep.
Okay. So.
Also, I forgot Dane. Reduce your soak by 1 temporarily and take 1 point of damage. And now Korak, reduce your soak by 1 and take 1 point of damage.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll just remember that my soak is 8. No.
Okay. I am going to, out of my 96 that I'm rolling right now, I'm going to change 2 of them into a damage die.
Come on, crit.
Nope, I missed crit, but 10, 16, 20, 24, 20, 27 to
for
hit.
23.
Okay, so I hit. So that's going to be 5d6 damage plus 3.
I am not going easy on you guys anymore. This is freaking ridiculous.
Only 14.
Okay.
For the first one.
Uh-huh.
For the first attack.
So I will take my second attack and still can't crit. So 10, 14, 19, 21. Missed.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yes, he bats away that strike with one of his 4 arms.
Okay. And on this one.
You need one of his 4 forearms?
Now, do I think my strike through stone will...
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So I am going to enact that. Okay. 16, 24. So I hit. And so this will ignore soak.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going to put in my luck die to go with it.
So when Korak does this, the both of you see kind of this energy pulse from his chest down into his arms and then go into his weapon as he's swinging down towards the skeleton's hip.
Okay, so I have 27 points of damage on the die, and I have a 6 on my luck die. And 2 more So 29 points of damage.
Yeah, you lop his leg off. And he kind of comes crashing down, and he lands on his two arms on it would be his right side. He seems still alive. You've just delimbed him.
Right.
And dealt a massive amount of damage. Yeah.
So just to be clear now, is he now walking on his four arms with his one remaining leg like a scorpion tail behind him? Is that happening?
That wasn't originally happening, but now it totally is. So when you
I was just making sure.
When you look at him, and he's kind of holding himself, preventing himself from falling over. He kind of looks over at his other two arms and then lands down on them. And now he's got his leg kind of back behind him. He can't use it like a scorpion tail though.
It just looks menacing.
Yeah. Actually, it kind of looks ridiculous. It's just flopping like in the back, like a leg.
Like a dead leg.
Okay.
So then,
is it my turn?
It's your turn.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
Okay, so actually, if it's okay, I just wanted to clarify something. Before I thought I only had one stealth thing because of the cloak, but I have my own actual exploit. So how far am I from him, or how far is he from me?
I assumed you had stayed back where you were, and you were about 20 feet.
Okay, so then never mind. My move did not apply. So at the position that I'm at, I'm just going to kind of step out from behind the wall, and I'm going to take aim carefully. I'm staring down his right eye socket, and I'm going to pull my two arrows and quickly fire these two shots. But if you have a quick eye, you'll notice that I take the second one and I just scrape it along my armor to grab some of his own acid to return it to him.
Oh, thank you for reminding me. You take a point of damage and lose one soak.
Yes, already got that.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I am going to... right, okay. So then I'm going to be getting the effects of the careful aim on the first of these, and I'm going to spend 2 of those 8 to give myself 1 damage die if I hit. Which I do not. I roll a 20.
Oh, well, his range defense is much lower than... his range defense is 10.
Oh, okay. So
you're shooting at a big hulking mass that can't really do anything to stop you from shooting it. If you were engaged with melee, it could bat away, it could, block pretty easily, but no. Ranged,
excellent.
It's useless.
I should have probably spent another 2 for that then, but I didn't realize. So that's a 20 on the first one, 24 on the second, and the first one has an extra damage die.
Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic.
So that's going to be 20 damage on the first one. That had the extra damage. And the second one that I scraped acid on, I'm going to add a luck die. Stupid luck die. So that's a 16 damage on that one, since my luck die, supposed luck die, only gave me a 1.
So your first arrow hits his one eye socket and it spins his head like a quarter of a turn, and you hear Korak, you can hear just a sickening crunch of his head being turned, everything. And the other arrow comes and it pops his head off. But the body remains there, still engaged in combat. The head just rolls away.
I want to take his face off.
Good reference. That was perfect. Now, was that both of your actions, please?
Yes. The aim was my first action, and the 2 shots were my second.
All right. So, looking at his dire situation, he has a coup de grace to perform here, and it is going to be, he's going to turn all of his ire over to Dane. Dane, you hear a voice kind of come from, well, maybe it comes from the skull that's on the floor, and it says, you have the egg, give it to me. And when it does that, it comes over to you and is going to attempt to grab you with one of its arms. It's going to be a regular attack for it. Okay, what's your defense?
21.
All right, he got a 23. So he manages to grapple you, and then he takes his let's see. If he's holding himself up, and now he's using one of his arms, he's going to take another. Let's see what he wants to just he wants so bad to kill you. He takes one of his other arms, and as he forms a fist to come and punch you, you see it light up with this dark necrotic force, and he's going to bring this mighty blow down directly onto you. The first half of this damage is going to be regular blunt damage where your soak will apply. The other half is going to be necrotic damage where your soak will not apply.
Okay.
So the first part, blunt damage, is 21.
Ouch. Okay, so 21 minus 8 is 13. Okay.
And then the necrotic damage is going to be 17. And that
puts me at 0.
Okay, so he knocks you unconscious. And that is his action. Grabbing you and punching you with a lit fist.
Okay.
Quite ironic, actually. So we're back at the top with Dane. I need you to form an endurance dice pool.
Okay.
And pray that you don't roll all 6s.
Nope. 1, 1, 3.
All right, hold on to those. You still have 3 in your endurance dice pool. Next, we go to Korak. Korak, you see your friend's limp body.
And straight endurance dice pool, correct? No bonuses or anything like that.
Yep.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
You see your friend's limp body being held onto by this. You don't even know what to call it at this point.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I lost my flanking, but I'm going to go all-out attack. Okay.
I'm looking for a 23.
Triple sixes,
Nice.
quadruple ones.
Well, that still hits because it's a crit.
Yeah. Okay. And that is 9, 13, 16, 19 points of damage on the first hit.
That right there was enough because he did that last attack on Dane as a desperation move to just kill him and fulfill. Well, anyways, you crash your spear down into him and you do it with such speed that you kind of just cut him in half. Not fully, but your spear goes straight through him up and down. And then the rest of him just begins to fall apart. Dane hits the floor, the rest of him just falls apart and falls around you. The green spirit that is inside of him will kind of dissipate a little bit into a cloud, and then it will get sucked into. Not sucked in. It looks like it moves into the staff, and the staff and lights up again, apparently containing this spirit.
Okay.
And the staff is currently on Dane. It's in with his things, so
All right.
slid into his back. Pack.
I guess the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to take one of my daggers and start scraping acid off as I run over to Dane to try to wake him up.
Oh yeah, Dane.
Smack!
You took, well, you were down, so it didn't matter. But reduce your armor by 1 soak. And
Okay.
Korak, what are you scraping the acid off with?
With a dagger.
Okay, yeah, that dagger is ruined now that you've done that. But
I have 4 more.
Yeah, you managed to get that crap off your armor. And you might toss one over to Tarask.
Yeah.
To do the same for him. So Tarask, yeah, he tosses you a dagger. You're able to scrape that shit off and prevent any further damage to your armor.
So wake Dane up or scrape acid off his armor. I will. I'm going to try to wake him up.
All right.
Now I have one of these acorns.
Oh, fantastic then.
So I will give you an acorn of the pipe.
Like that's
Something
1d6. Yeah, that's 1d6 of healing.
Yeah.
5 points, so that's going to bring me back up.
All right, when you forcibly make him crunch this acorn...
We don't crunch it. You have to swallow it.
Oh, okay.
Swallow whole.
Whole.
Oh, that's interesting. So you wind up needing to shove your finger down his throat
Yep.
and get it down there. He's completely unconscious. It does make him cough because he's still breathing. He's still hanging on to life. And it makes him gag and choke and everything, but you manage to get it down.
Okay.
And trying to find, are there side effects to it? I'm trying to find the page it's on.
No, it just does
no.
1d6 of healing.
Okay, great.
And once I get up, I'm going to grab one. I'm going to grab a spare rib bone lying around and scrape the acid off my armor.
Yeah, cool. When the nut goes
I never
down
thought about that.
and it kind of dissolves and everything, you can feel it takes a few moments, but you feel the life-giving power of the nut kind of going through your digestive system, and you can feel a few internal wounds patch up a little quicker than they normally otherwise would have. And yes, you're back together. Big happy family once again.
Okay, let's get out of here.
Yeah, but when Tarask sees Dane kind of up and about and shuffling around, he's going to say, "Oh, watch out for that staff.
Oh, yes.
Call me crazy, but I think you caught the necromancer in it, so to speak, or he caught himself."
So I look. I grab the staff and I take a look at it.
Oh yeah, it's green, glowing green.
It's green once again.
Yep.
Oh, I get one of my luck die back because I took him down. Good.
My bow is pissed. It's like quivering in my hands.
I'm thinking I may be better off. Destroying this staff rather than holding on to it.
Let's bring it to Daniel.
Yeah.
He'll know what to do with it.
Yeah, good call.
So let's go to Daniel now.
Okay, when you begin to make your way through, there's 2 ways you can exit this room. There is through the secret doors that you came into this room through, but there's also the main door to the room that you didn't take, going around the other way.
I don't know, guys. Like, things have been trapped and stuff like that, and I am extremely hurt right now.
Speak for yourself. I'm not in a position to help out either.
So
Ishtar
I say we
rolls
go
over a
the
little
way
bit
we.
and goes,
So I say we go back the way we came.
Yep, I agree.
And Tarask kind of looks at passed out Ishtar and kind of just goes, fine.
You manage to find the secret doors. Again, no problem. You make your way through that small, dark hallway, and you find your way back into the preparation room, I guess you could call it, where the skeletons were tearing flesh off of other bones, or off of other bodies. You go out that door and everything, and you come back to where Ishtar had disarmed the very first trap in this four-way corridor. And you're left with, you can either turn right to leave, you can go ahead, forward to what would appear to be, Dane, you're about 10 feet ahead of you, you see another door in front of you, or you could go left up, presumably towards the bone room, up back the way you came.
Tarask is going to point to the right and say, I think it's this way out.
Am I feeling a pull?
Everybody make perception tests. Korak, use your, this one explodes for you.
Okay.
16 for me, please.
Okay.
So 18 plus my exploding die, 21.
17.
You can all, Korak smells it first, but you can all smell the savory aroma of food coming from the left.
Food would be good right now.
But who's cooking it?
In a necromancer's cave.
Does it smell like good food?
Oh yeah, to you, it smells legit. It smells like a chef who knows what he or she is doing, for sure. Like, you know the difference between, the McDonald's burger smell compared to when you go to a steakhouse and it's, salt and pepper and that's it, and the steak itself smells really good. This is like the steakhouse smell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I say we maybe take a detour.
Stay with me, fellas. There's bread on the ship. Let's not go getting ourselves lost now over some snacks.
We won't get lost. It's just this way. Let's just take a peek.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Bad feeling about everything.
It's because we travel with humans, and humans give me bad feelings.
Is Dane going along with this?
Yeah. Slightly begrudgingly, but yes. I'm more thinking nourishment equals health, and I need health right now.
Tarask is taking an arrow out.
Okay, so presumably Dane, because you have the glowing club, you kind of like, maybe we can find something up this way, and you begin to make your way up the hallway. And when you do, you notice that the hallway splits in two directions. Now, you can intuit from here that if you went left, again, then that would lead you back to that bone room where you just killed Teremor again. If you went to the right, that's where the smell is coming from.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
so
that's the way we're going.
Yeah, so you make your
following
way
the food.
Yeah, you make your way down that hallway, no problems. And you come to a very familiar looking door. It's the same door that's been in every other room except for Teremor's bedroom, where it was the more elaborate door. This one's just plain old rickety looking wooden door.
Okay.
And the smell is intense.
Okay.
Let's see.
Okay.
You fellas ever heard the one about too good to be true?
Oh.
Nope.
Me neither.
I say Korak opens the door, and you have your arrow ready to do whatever needs to be done. I am not in a position to even try to do anything at this point.
Tarask is twitchy AF.
I will. I will
I'm
set.
pretty AF for a different reason, so there.
I will set Ishtar down.
Thud.
No, I set him down this time.
Okay.
I didn't drop him. And I will
Lean
open
against the corner.
the door.
Okay, I'm assuming you open it very cautiously, and when you
Yes.
do, you're standing beside it, and you push, and it opens inwards, and you turn the knob and you push it in, and you move out of the way just in case there's something that Tarask needs to shoot. And as the door opens, that smell comes flooding in, and light comes pouring out of the room. Indeed, and
Tarask steps forward like someone kicking in the door and like then moves and clear, and the next person steps in. So he like immediately steps in, bow raised, like, huh?
Okay, so as soon as you step in and you turn the corner, so basically the wall that it's on your right continues all the way through and forms the room, which then goes and it has a back wall and then a left wall further over. So the right wall, you've got your back to the right wall, you come in, you turn and you take in the full room. There is a skeleton standing guard right in there. All I'm going to have you do, this one is one of the weaker ones. So it's just going to be a reaction thing. So just roll your initiative and I'll roll an initiative for him. And basically, their hit points and armor are so low that you're not going to have much of a hard time hitting it. What this is going to determine is whether or not he gets a chance to hit you before you.
Well, I got a 6.
Well, if you give me, he might not get much better. So hold on. Oh my gosh, he got a 5.
Huzzah.
I'm not even kidding. He got a 5. So yeah, you are.
Wow.
You both are like, oh my gosh. And you stare at each other for a second, then you're like, oh, shit, and then you loose an arrow at him. And as soon as you do,
23.
Yeah, you hit him in the neck, and he just falls apart.
14.
Yeah, he's dead. That's one shot again. Based off of the skeletons on WayneRPG.com, I'm pretty sure that would have just one shot killed him. So yeah, you run in there, you drop the skeleton, and when you take in the rest of the room, you notice there is a dwarven man up against this pretty nicely look. I'll say this: the kitchen itself is clean, only because it's kept clean. The equipment and everything that's in there is old and shoddy and gross, and this all happened so quickly. The dwarven man at the skillet, he's got like this chef's thing on and everything. He turns around all frightened and everything and drops a big piece of meat on the floor. And he's like, "Oh my gosh!" And then you drop the skeleton, and there you are, staring at each other. And he's like, "Oh, who are you?"
And Tarask is going to use a little elven foul language here, and he's just going to say, "Oh, come on. What the carp is going on around here?"
Said, "I should be asking you the same thing."
You're in a necromancer's cave. You don't get to ask anybody anything. Come in, boys. It's a little one.
He's just like looking around all like kerfuffled. He has no idea what the hell is happening.
I say explain a little one as I walk in, and what do I see?
Yeah, so you see this kitchen and a dwarf standing about 4 or 5. And
Okay, so a dwarf. I was wondering if there's a dwarf or a small folk. So
yeah, no, and he has this scraggly ass looking beard, and he himself looks pale and emaciated, not like thin. He's still a stocky looking dwarf, but you can see his cheeks are sunk in, and he just looks unhealthy. He says, "What? How did you even get in here?"
The door.
Yeah. A, the front door, and B, I say it once, I say it 1,000 times, we're just that damn good.
This is the only living people I ever see coming in here are ones that the master brings in himself. Where is the master? He's not with you, is he?
Automatically.
Oh, I
Down to the ground
froze
with-
for just a second there. Sorry. The last thing that I said was, he's not with you, is he?
Okay, and like I said, Dane pulls the staff and emphatically slams it onto the ground.
Oh. He looks at it and he's like, that's the master's staff. That's the master's staff.
That was the master's staff.
Saying, are you saying you killed him?
Yes.
Yes, twice.
And he gets like almost teary-eyed, and he looks down at his smock or whatever, like it's dirty, it's gross, it's disgusting, and he rips it off and he throws it on the floor and he says, "You all are my saviors!" And he comes running over to give Dane a big hug. Thank you.
And I will return the favor, and I'm glad we were able to help you.
So long. He blows his nose in your clothes. And, I don't know how I can thank you. So he becomes impossible to discern what he's saying.
So,
Had to come check out the food.
Speaking of food, is
says,
that real food?
He says, "Oh yes, and he lets go of Dane and he says, "I was brought here by that demon. He liked my food. I was a cook back in the day. I've been here for a while, but he brought me here to cook his food for him. Said he wouldn't hurt my family if I did."
So where do you come from?
Says, "Well,
Where is home?"
I actually hadn't. Full disclosure, I hadn't thought of where the cook in the necromancer's dungeon was from.
Well, that's okay, because Tarask would kind of cut him off at the end and say, "Who cares? Didn't we come up here for you to get something to eat? Look at this place. It's a buffet."
He
Eat.
wipes his snot and his tears and everything. He's like, "Yes, oh, by all means. I'll make you something, anything." And
What is the meat?
He says, "Well, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. It looks like some kind of venison or something of that nature. Every so often, when the master gets hungry, he'll send out some of his minions to go kill some game, and they bring it back to me and make me cook it."
But you're sure it's game.
He says, "To be sure."
Okay.
It says, "I know my meat, and you look like you know your meat too."
I did take a rank in cooking.
Yeah, as you watch him, he cooks like a trained chef, and he'll tell you that his name is Laban, that he is from a town up north called Lane, and that basically he's been waiting. The skeleton was posted here and has never moved, and anytime he's moved too quickly or done something the master didn't like, he'll get beat by the skeleton or threatened to be killed and flesh torn off and all that kind of stuff. So he's been a prisoner here for, by his best estimation, about 5 years.
Okay. Well,
As I was going to say, I'm sure, as Crack starts eating, I'll also eat. Hope that helps with some hit points. But I'll mention to the dwarf that we are actually headed towards Lane, and that he is welcome to join us, provided he doesn't mind the journey not being on the ground.
By the gods, we're picking up strays.
It's about this time that Ishtar regains consciousness, thanks to the smell of the meat or whatever, and he gets up and he's like, "Huh? What's going on? Where am I? And what's that wonderful smell?"
Correct, as he's shoving food in the door. It's great. Have some.
So you can all roll your endurance dice pools for this day. This will be your hour that you got to spend for this day to recover. Much needed hit HP.
Can I spend a luck die on this?
I don't see why not. Well, no, luck dice are used for actions. So
sorry, I rolled crap. I rolled 7 for my hit points. So
I'm one
to
below max.
12.
Nice.
I'm above half, so I do lose my bonus die on attacks, but I'm okay with that.
I'm at a whopping 25% of my hit points.
So yes, you've all had enough time to rest and eat and regain composure, fill Ishtar in on what he didn't help with, and yeah, you guys are set to go whenever you want.
All right.
Yeah, Ishtar, thanks for the help.
He's got a mouthful of food. He's like, "What?"
So we'll ask Laban if he has any personal effects he would like to take with him to gather them. Let's get out of here. Actually, do you know of anything special in this place?
Let me make a quick roll for him. See if he was ever perceptive enough to see something over these 5 years. 5 years is going to be a low difficulty check, but he's also just a normal scared little cook with no aspirations of being any hero. So we'll say it's a DC of 13 and he gets 4d6.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that should be
Feasible.
Yeah, it's like 48%.
You got 13 exactly.
Woohoo!
So he says, come to think of it, every so often when I brought the food to the master, I noticed he would have me bring it to him in what I think is some kind of library room. And one day when I was bringing it there,
Name perks up.
I heard a door shutting, but I didn't see any door. So I think there's some kind of secret hidden door in the library.
Can you take us to the library?
He says, sure, I bet you there's some interesting things in there. To be sure.
There's nobody named Mustard, is there? Who's a colonel?
Do I sound like Colonel Mustard?
No, I'm sorry. As soon as you said in the library, I'm just like, it's Colonel Mustard with a candlestick in the library.
Okay, I got it. I was thinking, who was I thinking of? Who's the colonel for KFC?
Sanders.
Colonel Sanders. That's what it is.
Well, you are serving us chicken or something of the sort.
So basically, he will let me show you. Now that this room will have been the last room, I'll show you the map I've been working off of, and that way you can kind of have a frame of reference for what I'm going to describe. If I could drag it over to the right spot, which I appear to be incapable of doing.
Short answer: it's the Tomb of Horrors.
It is not the Tomb of Horrors. Why does that keep happening? This is pissing me off. I keep dragging it over to drag and drop it into Discord, and then since I'm doing it on the web browser, sometimes it just opens it up as a... Okay, drag and drop. There you go. There you go. All right. There it is. If you pull that up, you'll see down... You guys are up in room 3. And he will bring you down to room 2. That trap right there is the trap that Ishtar undid. Room 4 was the bone room. Room 1 was the preparation room. Room 5 was Teremor's room. And then the prison cells. And yeah, he'll take you down to room 2. And to find that secret door back there, you'll all need to make... Because he doesn't know exactly where it is. He just heard it. You'll all have to make perception tests. And Ishtar will do this as well. And for him, he gets something crazy like 7d6.
I'll go ahead and blow a luck die for this one. Thank you. 22.
Sorry, what am I rolling?
28.
Perception.
Yeah, Ishtar got a 27.
30.
Wow.
And I got a 30. Luck die exploded twice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna burn a luck die too because I can recharge them now. So.
And actually, I would have ended up recharging my one used luck die already, so I'm back down to 2.
And Korak, what did you say you got?
14.
14, okay.
Oh wait, it's intuition, and I have the skill for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the perception skill.
Yeah, I have perception skill. I forgot about that.
How
that'll do it.
many points do you have in it?
Only 2, so I only get 1d6.
Okay.
So while you figure that out, I'll read the description I have for the library. So, this room is pitch black. Inside are rows of dusty bookshelves with a desk in the back center of the room. On the desk, there is a book. There are 2 books. One of them is open and appears to have scribbles of referring to some type of herbalism practices and leaves and notes and such. And then
Who was it? Who took herbalism?
Ishtar.
Ishtar did. Yeah, he'll take that book for sure. Let me note that in the chat for him. Ishtar gains book of herbalism. Okay.
Are there any?
I rolled a
books,
19.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine.
And are there any books of relating to magic or the spirit world or anything of that would be of interest to Dane?
Most of the book, there's not too many books here. I know I said there's rows of dusty bookshelves, but there's not a whole lot of books in them. So you find 2 or 3 books that are appear to be, for this time period and this setting, they're very nicely bound. They don't look like they were made by a run-of-the-mill bookbinder. They look like they've been they were made for royalty almost.
I'll take them just so I can show them to Daniel.
Yeah, one of them has a title on it that is it's labeled The Discerning. And the other book is Sir, and this is perfect. Sir Erest Glor the Wonderful's Resplendent Codex of Monstrous Evocation. And if you open the page 317 in the book, you'll see it's Appendix F. And it is, where is it? Number 50. It's just a common book. This one's actually a little bit nicer than just a common book, but that's the name of it. Sir Erest Glor the Wonderful's Resplendent Codex of Monstrous Evocation.
And where did you say this was in the this is in the main book?
Yeah. Page 317. In case you're wondering like how to spell it or wanted to see that right there. So yeah, no, that's perfect.
And you said it was number
50.
Number 50, thank you.
Yeah. So you find these 2 books. The rest of them appear to be mundane storybooks, maybe meant for a child. not as nicely bound as those two. Those two draw your attention. Korak, you pretty much stick with Ishtar when he rolls around and finds the secret door. Tarask, you take a look at the other book that's on the desk, and with that roll, you are able to identify that this is another book of summoning. This one dealing more with the fundamentals of summoning magic.
Magic, huh?
Yep.
So he picks it up and kind of shuffles it around in his hand, not really sure what he should make of this. But curiosity will get the better of him, and he will flip open the cover.
Yeah, when you do, you notice it scrawled in this arcane text that there are a good part of it is in this arcane text, but there are notations along the sides and notes and such that say things like practice this further or investigate this more. Figure out why this didn't take. Things of that nature. Little notes scrawled about.
So he'll take it and he'll slide it in his pocket.
Okay.
And then I guess at that point we've done our rolls for the secret doors, so
Yes, when Ishtar slides open the secret door with the help of Laban and Korak, you guys are able to open that up forcefully. You see back in there that there is a small chest, and it's open, and it's a very, very small room. It's almost like a closet. And in this chest, you guys find two little flasks filled with liquid. One of them is a purple liquid, and the other one is a red liquid. They aren't magical, so your identify exploit isn't going to help.
okay.
Purple and what?
Red.
Red.
Okay.
Smelling the red liquid, does it have a discernible spell that would very much resemble blood?
No.
Okay. That's the first thing to check.
No, it has this organic, like smoky smell to it.
Okay. And then the purple liquid, same thing, just smell testing.
That one smells a bit more fruity.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you said these are vials?
Yeah. However you imagine a flask in your mind's eye.
Well, if I'm thinking of flask, I'm thinking something totally different.
No, he means like a chemistry set flask. A
Yeah,
bulb at the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, an Edelmeyer flask.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a potion jar.
Thank you.
So
Potions.
Tarask is gonna just kind of, his left hand is gonna fall to his side, and he's gonna kind of run his fingers over the pouch with the gems in it, and he's curious here because the gems he found were in an old drawer, and these two liquids are just well hidden in a chest. He just doesn't know what to make of it, and he says, without sounding redundant, I suggest we take it to Daniel.
Sure.
I completely understand and agree.
Let us go.
Okay. You guys make your way out the front door, and it explodes behind you, and you guys walk real cool, slow motion back to the airship. Yeah, you guys decimated that dungeon and plundered its loots. Found.
Can I turn and put my fist out for somebody to bump it?
I will gladly fist bump.
And if Dane bumps it, I'm going to make my hand explode like the cave.
I'll do the same thing.
Except Dane's hand actually explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Ishtar feels left out. So you guys make your way back to the airship,
like you would.
right? And basically, right now Daniel is going to be your Deckard Cain and identify your items. He will take the 2 potions and he will look at the purple one. He'll uncork it and he'll kind of smell it. And he says, well, this is a restorative potion. This will rapidly heal internal wounds. And then he looks at the red one and he swirls it around and then takes a sniff of it. And he says, this one I'll have to research. I'm not 100% familiar with this potion. And he corks it back and he stashes it back behind him. Then, Dane, when you show him the book and the staff, he will, and you explain to him what the staff is.
There's a necromancer hanging in it.
Yeah, exactly. He will immediately stand up, go off the airship. If any of you wish to accompany him, then he welcomes the company, but he takes it out into the middle of, basically away from the people on the ship. He mutters an incantation of soul protection for yourself, kind of sealing his soul and whoever else is around him, in making your soul kind of impenetrable, and he smashes it. He smashes the jar at the end of the staff. And then when that happens, you see this green spirit kind of attempt to push its way into whoever is there. And then as it keeps going, it slows down and it slows down until eventually it loses too much of its essence and it dissipates into nothingness. And Daniel says that wicked man is no more. And when he takes the book, and he's still out there, you guys are out there with him, whoever went with him, and he says this book is a tome of darkness, a tome of evil that must be destroyed. And he'll set fire to it.
Okay. I asked him if I would be able to retain the staff, even after destroying.
Yeah, he says it's a stick now. There's nothing wonderful about this. It was an evil man's walking stick that he put this magical jar on top of to contain his soul. So without that magic jar on there, it is literally a nice looking tree branch.
Okay.
But you're welcome to keep it.
Okay. Well, I'd look at keeping it. I'm just kind of curious as to if I were to use it as a weapon, how would it qualify?
Certainly no better than the staff you have.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's not a fighting stick by any stretch.
Okay. Then in that case, if it's not, after evaluating that, I would probably take it and I'd add it to the fire, burnt with the book.
Good choice.
And then regarding the other 2 books that I acquired, branches that, I mean,
yeah, he'll get to those. Tarask, you were going to say something?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, cool. Yeah. He'll get to those 2 books. So when you guys make your way back to the ship, he'll take a look at those other 2 books, and he'll tell you that.
Okay.
For the record, I'm not showing him my book.
The journal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he'll look at the Book of Herbalism and the Book of Summoning, and he'll take a special interest in the Book of Summoning, and he'll ask to keep it. Basically, it's a tome that is. He'll regale you a little bit of the history of this particular book, and he'll say that this was a book owned by Lord Colhelm's personal sorcerer many, many years ago, and that if his recollection is correct, and the stories were indeed true, and this seems to be proof of it now, there was a man that stole this book from Jeremiah. And This must have been that man. There's no other way you could explain having this book here. And there were many stories that were told about this man, but a lot of them were discarded because nobody knew if it was true or not. But basically, there's stories that he was he spent his childhood. This man spent his childhood under the tutelage of Jeremiah, Lord Colhelm's head sorcerer, and he betrayed Jeremiah by killing Jeremiah's wife and attempting to abduct their child, Benengrin. He failed.
It's probably a human.
He failed, and after fleeing persecution, he just disappeared, and he wasn't heard from since.
Okay.
Now he's dead.
Yes. Really quick.
Twice.
Twice over. He's a twice baked potato. So, in order to remember something, so as he's regaling you of this story and everything, it would come to one of your minds something that Teremor had said before he died in his human body. Or, well, he wasn't human, he was a grand elf.
My stereotyping backfires.
Yes, he said, let's see, why don't you all just we'll see who can remember. It's just a straight logic test. And history, if you've got it.
Okay, logic history.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. 10.
Hey!
Not bad.
It
For,
almost surfaces to your
7.
consciousness. A 7? Oh,
I
that's
have
bad.
2
19.
in logic.
Okay, Dane. It caught your ear because it was something that you take very seriously. And when Teremor died in his grand elf body, he begged for mercy at first, and he said, "I can tell you, things about the dragon's hand," and that would have stuck with you.
I remember that.
Korak doesn't.
No. Well, no. I remember it now that you said it, but
So I do mention that to Dane.
I
And
actually
I
wrote
also
it down.
Oh, hey.
And I also mentioned that he knew I had the dragon's egg.
He says,
although nothing was said about it.
He says, so it was the dragon's hand that followed you into Nala. This is interesting. And he says, I'll have to meditate on these things. He must have been turned. He must have been made some offer he couldn't refuse by the dragon's hand. He seemed to be a man that desired power. Maybe they offered him that. Well, it was his undoing.
Apparently by the power of becoming immortal.
It was his undoing in the end anyway. And
Daniel, do you believe... Oh, sorry.
No. Go ahead.
Do you believe that this will resolve the problems for the city?
He says the problems for the city were only caused because, and I hate to say it, you showed up. But the problem...
Thanks, Tarask.
No, not Tarask and not Tarask specifically. He looks at Korak. He says, not Tarask specifically. They were after the egg.
I thought the reason we had to stop was because there was going to be another skeleton attack on the city.
He said, no. No, he said, we need to purge this land.
I see. Is it purged?
Says, this land is.
Then should we continue, Daniel?
On to
yes.
Lane.
He says, yes, we should. And you sail off into the sunset.
I didn't want to... Sorry. I didn't want to cut off the expose. I just...
No.
I think Tarask wanted to hear that, and then he was going to kind of like smack his hands together and say, good.
No, yeah, at any point, when I'm talking, I want to be interrupted. I don't want to talk all night. It's because sometimes I'll wait, and if nobody talks for a couple of, I don't know like how much internet lag there's going to be or anything like that. So, and then I'll continue, and you can cut me off totally because I want you guys to talk. I want to talk less. I want you guys to talk more. So yes.
And yeah, just to narrate that, Tarask is going to just smack his hands together and say good, and he's going to walk off, and presumably we'll get going soon, but he's going to go somewhere private and take out that journal.
Yeah, so when you open up the journal and you begin flipping through the pages, you notice it is indeed Teremor chronicling and keeping kind of a log of his thoughts for these many, many years. And the first entry reads very jealously. And he was apparently very good friends with Benengrin, Jeremiah's child. However, as you flip through the pages and you read on this trip, you begin to see that Teremor was beginning to be shut out of Jeremiah's family, and he didn't like that. Teremor loved Benengrin, and he loved Jeremiah's wife and everything, and he begun to grow bitter towards Jeremiah, and eventually that turned into Jeremiah basically banning him being able to see his son Benengrin anymore. And it's not too long thereafter that you see notes written in that, I plan on doing this deed in the next few days. And then the next entry is like, I did it. And it is scrawled very quickly, I did it, but I couldn't get Benengrin. I couldn't get him. But that bastard's wife is dead. And then it goes on talking about how he got away from the guards and everything, and he stole some books from Jeremiah, some books about summoning, so he could continue to learn his favorite subject. Yeah, you see it kind of, the journal entries begin to kind of trail away into madness at that point. And then it seems to grow, it seems to mature, like the type of writing into this kind of combination, like it had turned into this madness, but then also it's very refined now. So it's kind of like Hannibal Lecter. Like, the dude is a psychopath, but he sounds real good doing it. And then you catch an entry near the end where it talks about how he was approached by the Dragon's Hand, and that he was considering accepting their offer because they would grant him access to much of the forbidden knowledge and lore that they've collected over the years in regards to necromancy. And in turn, he would serve the Dragon's Hand and do their bidding. And it all kind of comes together now how things happened in this way.
And he closes the book. Goes to sleep. No.
Yep.
I was going to say, Dane probably takes some time after finding out a little bit more about these books from the other two books from Daniel. Spend some time reading and studying those to see if there's anything that could be gleaned from them.
The summoning book is written in an arcane language that you don't understand yet. But Daniel says...
I was looking more at the discerning and the book of evocation.
Oh.
The summoning book yes, eventually I would probably want to look into that, but
so the discerning is basically a history book regaling some of the time back many thousands of years ago, and actually, ironically enough, it talks about the time in history when the dragons would go about to different cities judging them. That being one of the few stories that you remember reading about in your temple. So that's that book. The other one, the Monstrous Evocations, is basically it's on augmenting summons. So like it's kind of like Calc 2. You know, the summoning book is Calc 1. This one's Calc 2. You know, here now you've got your monster. Here's how you can infuse it with some power and stuff like that. So,
okay. I just thought with it being evocation, I thought it would help with my evocation skill.
Monstrous evocation.
Yeah.
Scribing runes in the flesh of your summons to give them power and the like.
Mm.
Yep. And those are those books. And if at some point you want, I'm not going to go through the discerning right now, but if at some point you want to know about it, then I'll tell you about it.
Well, I figure that with the time we're going to have between now and the next whatever we do while we're journeying, I could study that pretty thoroughly and probably gain some ranks in either history or something. History,
yeah, for sure.
Religion, something.
Yeah, you would gain definitely a rank in history on that one.
Okay.
So yeah, you can go ahead and give that to you right now.
Okay.
And Ishtar is actually going to get a rank in herbalism by diving into that book. But when we meet back up, we will be sailing to Lane and making our journey there, and we'll roll for weather. We'll see how the trip goes and if anything happens on the way there.
Okay.
Hopefully nothing.
Korik will get Laban settled on the ship and ask him if he can give him pointers on cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Along the way.
Yeah, Laban is he basically, that's right, I thought about this earlier. Laban, because I thought you guys might save the cook, and what'll happen? So yeah, totally. You bring him into the kitchen in the Anchored Fortune, and he basically kicks the chef there out. And he takes the kitchen under his wing, and anybody that wants to watch him work, they do. And you know, the other chef would help him, and so on and so forth. But yeah,
he gets demoted to sous chef.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, he will definitely give you some pointers. He will show you and teach you anything you want. So you could definitely gain a rank in cooking for that, because he will. You're basically spend some time on the airship, just cooking steaks and what have you.
Right. Okay. So
Since
one more
everyone-
rank, and I'll get an extra die in cooking.
Yes.
Since everybody's learning things, and this might actually be a location where I could find someone that knows something in what I was interested in. I don't know how this mechanic plays out, but Tarask is a tracker, but he's interested in owning territory to set up a new home. So I was thinking recently that he would be interested in learning some more about mapping, and I don't know if that's a skill or not.
That'd be cartography.
Yeah, cartography,
yes,
certainly.
It would.
And you could actually meet with the ship's navigator, who is an avid cartographer as well. And in fact is using the map that he drew himself to get to Lane. And when you catch him, you see him scrawling new notes on the map. It's been 20 years since they've been back out this way, charting the lands and everything. So he's marking down minor changes in the land, stuff, you know, making sure the map lines up to what he's seeing with his own eyes. And you're able to kind of, he'll take you under his wing and show you some, explain some of his techniques and what he's looking for when he's charting the land, and so on and so forth. So you can certainly gain a rank in cartography for that when you put the journal away and you go
Awesome.
hang out with him for a little bit.